throw it up, throw it up, throw it up. It's Friday. It's Friday. Throw it the deuces. If you made it to Friday, you're a truck driver and you're getting paid today. The question is, how many miles did you run this week, and what is the average rate per mile that you ran? Hopefully, some of the rates I heard. I had done some research because I watched the markets, of course, not just the crypto market, not just the stock market. I watched the freight rates. I keep an eye on these markets, man. Because we've been affected by the tariffs. The rates are supposed to be going up. So there's been slight upward movement in the rates. On national average, there's been a slight movement up in the rates. However, we still need that fuel price to come down. And it's all over the place. So for you guys that are out there trucking and you're trying to find the best places to go, depends what type of trucking you are doing it as it is. But for reefer right now, out there in the Midwest, the national average is pretty much $2.98 a mile for reefers. So they're killing the game. Of course, then you want to talk about flatbed too, and then the locations. I used to always book loads, and I would look to see where the best place to book the loads at. What's the rate? Pretty much the rates. You don't want to go nowhere where there's no loads coming out of there, so you want to steer clear of a lot of states. But one of the main places, the most versatile places to pick up a load, if you don't know, everybody got to know, and that's whether you flatbed, reefer, open deck, dry van, whatever the case is, you want to be down in Texas. So Texas, and then the next place would be California, Illinois, Ohio, or Pennsylvania. Those places are pretty much got a lot of rates. They got good paying rates. But of course, at the end of the day, it's all about that fuel and then the rate per mile. So right now, pretty much Northeast, things probably will slow down as far as the rates are concerned. But and that's if you have a drive-in, you might want to stay away from the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? If you can, the Midwestern states, they probably got the best rates for you and to keep you running with a drive-in. Texas definitely gonna have plenty of rates. And the thing about Texas is you got loads going everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So Texas, I would typically would be Illinois, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and then if you're out, go to California, you can get some good loads coming out of there as well. Alabama and Texas, if you got flatbed, man, that's where you need to make your way in that direction, try and get something coming out of there. And usually those rates for them is like $2.28 a mile. That's pretty much the national average. I just be keeping up on it because, as you know, I do own some trucks. You're gonna mess around, come up here and see we back out there. But behind the scenes, aside from me making these videos, there's a lot going on. Of course, I'm over here trying to cross the T's and dot the I's. You know what I'm saying? Hello. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. Late Game Legend is in the house. Patrick Star is in the place. Appreciate you guys. So I just wanted to make a quick update on some of the freight rates for flatbed, reefer, and drive-in. Not taken, but those are the rates right there. So on national average, in the Midwest, you go out to the Midwest, you're gonna get $2.98. That's pretty good, close to $3. But that's for a reefer. That's for a reefer. Reefer is gonna always have that high rate per mile if you want to go and compare prices of what type of trucking you need to be doing. So to all my fellow truck drivers out there that's over the road, man, you know what I'm saying? If today, like I said, today's Friday, it's payday. If your paycheck and all the miles that you've been driving don't add up, you know, ask yourself a question: Do I want to change lanes? Do I want to get into reefer because reefer pays more per mile? Do I want to, do open a flatbed or step deck? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to get out of dry van? I own a dry van. I own a 53-foot dry van trailer. I own one. So what I found with my dry van, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever I was trying to book loads, I never had a problem finding a load when I was in Texas. But I did used to see some of the loads for step decks, flatbeds, and for reefer. I was trying to buy a reefer trailer, but I got the dry van instead. I started out with a dry van. But the rates were, I mean, like I said, Texas is somewhere where it's versatile. Like you can get a load going just about anywhere. You could basically find loads of various weights. I stayed under 30,000, you know what I'm saying, in my weight class. I didn't max out, 42,000 pounds. I stayed within, the 30 some odd thousand pounds on the weight. So, but it doesn't mean because there's a lot of weight on the truck that you're gonna get paid a lot of money. The rate per mile is what it is. So, if dry van is only paying $2.12 or $1.80, that's because you're pulling dry van. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why I did park my truck. I could have did power only and been pulling a trailer, but when you run your own trailer, you book the loads. Seeing that I didn't have a reefer or a dry van, Seeing I didn't have a reefer or a step deck or a flatbed, I was doing strictly dry van. Once the rates dropped, I didn't find it profitable, so I parked the trucks and the trailer. I thought about it, but maybe if I had bought a reefer trailer, I probably would have kept on running because the rates per mile would have been more profitable. Even though law is based off of fuel too, because after fuel, what's left to the truck. And so that's pretty much it, man. I just came here to let you know there is a little increase, a small increase is what it looks like in some of the freight rate prices, and figure that the tariffs were going to drive these prices up. Of course, as they start to now implement all these rules with the FMCSA, as far as drivers, their roles, their licenses, and a lot of these things, it's kind of shaking out the bad, and then you'll have, those companies or those drivers that are pretty on the upside of things. So I think there'll be the Broker Transparency Act and stuff like that, where we should be able to see better rates. But they can do what they want to do with the rates. It's the cost of the fuel that's going to make trucking profitable. No one wants to go out to California where you got to pay almost $5 a gallon, pick up a load that's going to Atlanta, almost 3,000 miles, and $5 a gallon, but you're only getting paid, $2 or something crazy to pull that load, 3,000 miles, where it used to be like $8 for a 3,000-mile run. That's a lot of big difference. Them prices came way down, and the fuel went way up. So that's why I ain't doing it no more. I gotta wait till things turn around, and I constantly check it out. I'm always watching the markets. I'm watching the freight rates go. If they're going up and down. Watching the fuel, see if it's going up and down. I'm watching stocks to see if it's going up and down. I'm watching crypto to see if it's going up and down. I'm watching real estate to see if it's going up and down. Like these markets is, what I'm saying? It's something that I do. So, you know what? Gotta find the right time to get in where you fit in, and then you can benefit from it. It's gonna take some money to make some money, but you know what? We ain't never been afraid of investing over here. So, I gotta go. That's it. This is short, man. Just an update on the freight rates. Y'all be safe on Friday. I hope you check, reflects all the hard work that you did, all the miles that you've been driving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, next week might have to run a little harder. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Y'all peace out. Be safe. Next week might have to run a little harder.